Hello and welcome to this long-awaited armory showcase of the two new divisions arriving in Nemesis 4. Those are High Dynamic Range London and the 2nd Soviet Guards Mechanized Division, which are in charge of defending Moscow. So in this video, we'll cover every single unit in the divisions, how you can use them, how you can put a deck together, and if you check the links in the description, you'll see links to gameplay for those divisions. The channel members, who get their names on the screen, do get the gameplay videos a little early, and that's just because I can't release all of the videos at once as soon as the NDA drops, because then YouTube won't recommend them to people. And so the gameplay videos will be coming out in the coming days. The channel members do get them early, but they don't get them before the NDA drops, because obviously that would be illegal, and you can have my full name and address. So let's start off with High Dynamic Range London. So this is the force that is supposed to be defending London against enemy attack. So overall, it's a bit of a hodgepodge of some interesting infantry units, some brand new units like the AS-90, which is basically just the French one, and I can't remember what the French one's called. Anyway, in terms of the stats. And then like a bunch of, sort of newer tanks, newish tanks, and older tanks, and even older tanks. Then you've got, some cool recon units, and NATO's best anti-aircraft missile, or biggest, I suppose. Some Star Streaks. We'll go through it all tab by tab. This is just a brief introduction. And some cool planes, so Harriers and Hawks. So let's start at the beginning. So the Bedford supply we've seen before. It's in 1st UK, 2nd UK, etc. And that's 1,000 supply per truck, 6 trucks in the card. Then we've got the Bedford trademark supply. So this carries more supply, so 3,000 in one truck. So this is a heavy supply truck. As you can see, it's a lot bigger. All supply cards carry 6,000 supply in a card. It's just this is more cost effective, right? Because 3,000 supply here would be 120 points, whereas this is 80. Then we've got the Wessex helicopter. So this is a pretty big boy. I'm surprised the HP is only 8, to be frank, instead of 10, because it is pretty massive. But yeah, there it is, the Wessex helicopter, and this is the supply version, so 750 times by 8 is about 6,000, hopefully. And that's more of a helo thing. Then we've got a helo CV, so you've seen this before in 2nd UK. This is the Gazelle CV. Then we've got a Rover CV, so this is also in 1st UK and 2nd UK, but they've made a new model for HDR, so that's going to be presumably backported to 1st UK and 2nd UK, but now it's the same thing, but it looks betterer. So it does look a lot better, and I believe the old model is still available in Berlin Command. If we just get to Berlin Command, if you'll bear with me, here you go. So this is the old model, because that's in the Berlin Command camouflage. So they made a custom one for HDR, and that'll be backported to the other divisions. Then we've got this, which is 100 points, so it's 20 points more, but it has 2 armor, 2 front armor, 2 side armor because of the slats. Really, it should have 2 rear armor as well, because it's got cope cage on the rear, and then it's got some kind of plastic box here, and yeah, 1 top armor. So it's similar to a Saxon, except it isn't armed. And so it's 3 availability, but it's got smoke, so that's actually pretty cool, because it has the smoke. And a FOB, which we all know and love, right, carries lots of supply. Infantry, so this is a reservist World War II era 30 cal, right? I believe this is the American one, in British service, perhaps. Anyway, so that's it's reservist, so it's 10 points for 4 guys, so that's pretty cool. Then you've got the new Guards MAG. So basically you have the Queen's Guards. That's basically what these guys are. We'll get to the guy in the fancy camouflage in a little bit. As always, timestamps in the description, right? You can skip to the next division if you want, the Soviet one, or you can skip to the tank tab, or whatever it is you want. Or if you want gameplay, you can skip to the gameplay. But I really do recommend knowing what's in the division. So guards have the Resolute tag because they are the Queen's guards. Yeah, so it's Resolute is free, right? As it is in East Germany and so on. So yeah, standard 7.62 with the Resolute trait for 15. And then you've got a 50 cal. And yeah, 50 cal L1A1, 30 points. Then we've got RMP, and here we go. So I believe RMP look the same. They might have been upgraded a little bit, but this is new. The Rover RMP. So Britain finally has its own military police vehicle. I know it's been a long time coming. And this has been backported into 1st UK, 2nd UK, 4th UK, Berlin Command, and of course HDR London. So now Britain will always have a military police vehicle, which is great news. Then we've got HSF. So HSF, they're the same unit, but they've got a new card, which also applies to the one on 2nd UK. They look different. This unit, ever since they added militia and reservists and militia, this unit hasn't really been very useful because reservist plus militia is worse than the old reservist trait, and there's just not much point in them really. So yeah, it's a unit. I doubt you'll see it very often in the game. Then we've got the L6 Wombat, which you'll know from 2nd UK, 4th UK Berlin Command. And similar to the HSF, this is a unit that people don't really bring because it's not very good. It only has 35% accuracy, and so it just misses. 15 pen means it won't one-shot 2 front armor, unless it's like a BTR 60 because it's got less than 10 HP, in which case it will. So it'll one-shot 2 front armor at 9 HP or something. And it usually misses, so it's just really not very good. You'd be much better off for less money buying 2 of these. Then we've got Milan Wands, right? So this is another thing. If you want to hurt, so this is just and it's the same for all the infantry recoilless rifles in this game, apart from maybe the Fallschirmjäger SPG 9 on 4th Mordschützen, which I still don't bring. But anyway, it's just if you want to kill a vehicle, you bring this. And if you want to kill infantry, you bring this. And, this has the HP of the ATGM team, but the range of the 50 cal team, but 2 less HP. And it's like... It's also worth noting that this one can shoot at helicopters because it's on a funny mount, so it can shoot at helos as well. Then we've got Rifles Leader, which you'll know from all the other UK divs. But we've got some new transports here. So we've got the Humber Pig, which has 1 armor and smoke. And then the Kremlin Pig, which has 2 armor and an MMG and smoke. But this is sellable. So this is, because it's got no gun, it's actually sellable, which is pretty interesting. I believe it's the only one of its kind that has smoke and is sellable, because it's not armed. Whereas, I believe it's the only one of its kind. So this can be sold, and it's got a pretty nice road speed. Pretty awful off-road speed, sadly. And this one can't be sold, but it's got 2 armor because of the cope cage adds 1 armor, basically. That's what's happening here. Although you could say there's cope on the front here, so what's going on there, but whatever. You got turreted cope. Anyway, then we've got Rifles Patrol, so this is a pretty interesting unit. Basically, these transports are from Northern Ireland, where they'd sort of beat up Irish people or whatever it is. They call them paddy pushers. Essentially, these 2 slats here, these slats on either side, they'd fold out, and then you can drive forwards and just push all the Irish people into the sea. So that's what those were for, and that's what these guys are. So they've got a full-powered sniper rifle, but sadly it's only got DMR stats. So this is like a bolt-action sniper. You see it there. It's a bit shiny, I suppose, but basically it's a NATO-chambered sort of latest generation short magazine Lee Enfield. But yeah, they're pretty good. People still use them today, actually, as snipers. Anyway, pretty cool squad, because for 40 points it's got 7 guys, a DMR, which is sort of like 2 machine guns in terms of suppression, and smoke, and AT, and security, which means that they get good optics when they're stood still. So you're going to be seeing a lot of these, and once again, you can get them in a 2 front armor, 2 side armor, MMG, sadly, smoke transport. If it had a HMG, it'd probably be 25 points, right? So yeah, pretty cool unit. So this has smoke. Brits love to smoke, as it were. Anyway, then we've got our guards. So we've got our meme unit here, our whatever he's called, the beater. It's something beater. It's definitely not wife beater. I don't see any stellar. Anyway, so guards, CV. So 6 guys, AT, smoke. So they're like these lot, except they get a worse transport, but they get resolute. But they get a worse transport. So actually I'd bring this anyway, because this has 2 armor, right? And so yeah, these are the Queen's Guards. These guys are the Northern Ireland fighters, right? They go around Northern Ireland and defend, you know, post offices and stuff. And these are the Queen's Guards. So yeah, sadly we've only got one guy in the funny costume. Sadly, no bearskin hat. What can I say? But it's still pretty funny. So regular guards, 45 points for 9 guys with a law and 2 machine guns and resolute. So it's actually a decent squad. It's a decent squad. So this is more of like a defensive squad, because this can't fire in buildings, whereas this can fire in buildings. If you're in the same building, this will shoot. It's just this won't. But these guys have smoke, but these guys have worse transports, right? And then we've got Guards Carl Gustav, which for 5 points more get a Carl Gustav instead of an M72 Law. So that's pretty cool. Then, sadly, we've only got Terrier Pioneers in terms of Pioneers, although the Air Mobile guys we'll get to. From what I remember, they don't have satchels. So, yeah, sadly, these guys come at no vet, and that's obviously a total pain in the neck. So you will struggle to kill people in towns. You can just swarm them to death with guards and rifles patrol. Then we've got a Guards Milan 2, which is like a regular Milan 2, except it's got resolute, right? Then we've got Air Mobile Terriers. So this is a pretty cool squad. It's a platoon, basically. So they are 1 vetable, and they come in the Wessex HC2 with 15% ECM. And it's also got airlift capability, so it can actually lift up some of these towed guns, which we'll get to, if you want. And yeah, this is a pretty cool squad, because it's 12 guys. Sadly, the L1A ones aren't that amazing, but they've got 2 machine guns, but this one has to be stationary to use, right? This one is the best LMG in the game, the NATO Chambered Bren. I'm not joking. But it doesn't fire in the same building, and neither does this, whereas these will. But yeah, it's a nice chunky squad, so that'll help you win the towns. But then we've got Soap. We've got Soap. Captain Price. Melee that hind with your knife. So this is how you clear out the towns, right? You don't bother with this. What's the point? You bring these guys. Sadly, there are only 3 availability. I know who was responsible for that, and I don't talk to him anymore. But basically, they've got the Arm Burst. The Arm Burst is back, right? And they've got 12 MP5s, smoke, AT, and satchels. So this is an incredible, and the 12 guys, this is an incredibly good unit. You do have to pay a lot for it, and you only get 3 of them, and it's only 1 card, and they come in helicopters, which makes them kind of hard to you know, drop off and so on. So you can't just run them straight into the town. You got to think about it a bit. But yeah, very, very cool squad, and you know, you blew his bloody arm off. As we move into the Arty tab, so we get a Guards 81mm mortar, which is like a regular 81mm mortar, except with resolute. Then we've got some quick-fire 25-pounders from World War II. And, yeah, so the aim time's quite... like, I mean, basically, they're not very good. You could use them for smoke, because they've got nice range. And it's... apparently doesn't have a HE value on the HESH shell, which doesn't really make any sense, but there it is. And yeah, so you get 6 of them in a card. I don't really see the point in them, but they're pretty cool in terms of, like, you can get some smoke on target really quickly, because this will aim faster, but it takes a long time for the rounds to land, because they go all the way up and all the way back down, whereas these rounds will land quite quickly, and you can, like, get 4 of them and just, like, really pour it on with the smoke, I guess. Then we've got 105mm, so these I think they were, like, captured from Argentina or something. I really don't see why you would bring these, but they are there. Then we've got some old school 140mm howitzers. So it's sort of like the M109 but less good, and it's reservist. But they're only 80 points. So, and then you've got the AS90, which this is a preview build, but yeah, it seems it doesn't have its smoke, even though it's got smoke on the launcher on the model. But yeah, this is the AS90, and it's basically, because howitzers are all like standardized and stuff, it's basically equivalent to that latest generation French one, the AUF one, I believe. So if we just look at the AS90 and we compare it to the AUF one, as you can see, they are just stat clones of each other, but the AUF one has more armor and a direct fire gun and a HMG, so it costs 10 points more as a result. But yeah, so this should be like way better basically, because it's basically the newest arty piece in the game, but it is what it is. The standardization stuff, right? Anyway, tanks. So here's a tank. This is called a Rover Milan. I believe it's also had a new camo, right? So the Rover Milan of old is probably still in Berlin Command. I haven't checked that personally. I might be wrong. There it is, Rover Milan Berlin. So this is the old one. So they've done up the textures and stuff, and that's obviously backported to 2nd UK, as it says down here. Then you've got the Ferret Swing Fire, which is pretty cool, actually. Sadly, it's reservist, so it's got very low accuracy, but it's got 4 salvo length and nice range, right? And it's got good stealth, and it's super fast. So you can send these through the forests on Vertigo or Black Forest round the side and then rattle off 4 swing fires at somebody, miss them twice in a row and then die. But it does have smoke, so you can smoke, and then the round will go through the smoke and kill you. And it's got an MMG. But it is pretty funny. It's a pretty funny unit. Then we've got this swing fire, which you'll know from First UK and stuff. I don't really see why anybody would bring this when this is available. Maybe if you want loads of swing fires. It's got 5% more accuracy, and you can upvet it to get like more accuracy, but this is faster and it's got the same armor. Yeah, this has more rounds. Anyway, then we've got some Centurion Mark 13. So these are hilariously slow. It makes them very, very difficult to use properly. But yeah, so it fires pretty fast, at least, right? Fires pretty fast. This one's reservist. It's called the Sophia Lian, apparently. It's got smoke, though, which is nice. But yeah, there's a reason they're so cheap. They're just not very good, because they're so slow. It makes them so hard to use. But yeah, 10 rate of fire on one vet with 50% accuracy is not so bad. And you can get a military police vehicle and put it with them. And you can go across the open fields and die to T-55As. But yeah, they're pretty... I mean, because you get so many of them, that they're actually alright, I think. They're pretty cool. Anyway, then we've got the original Chieftain, Chieftain Mark 1. So this is more of an anti-infantry tank. It can survive a TOW too, and it's got smoke. But yeah, there's a reason it's so cheap. It's got not a... It actually fires less fast than this. So... and you'll notice the Chieftain round is heat instead of kinetic. So the Centurions, you can close distance at 35 kilometers an hour and try and sideshot that bad guy. Keep in mind that your turn rate is linked to your speed, so they are very, very cumbersome to use. The Chieftain Mark 1 has 2 more armor. It's not reservist, and it fires 2 rounds a minute slower. But it's got an extra gun. It's got 3 machine guns, so it's pretty good against infantry. And you'll notice the rounds do more HE and suppression as well. But they are heat rounds. They are heat rounds, so it doesn't get better with distance. So yeah, the Chieftain Mark 1 is basically an anti-infantry tank. And you can bring it at 2 vet, right, and just get 4 out at the start and try and make something happen. But the heat rounds makes them pretty bad. Then you've got the Chieftain Mark 9. Now, you may have noticed that the Chieftain Mark 9 is 10 points cheaper than it was last patch. That's because it's dog, so the price has come down. So, yeah, these should be a bit more usable now, and you do see it is a big step up from the one on the left. because it deals 4 more pen at the same range, and it's kinetic, and it's got 10% more accuracy. But it loses the extra machine gun, and you have to pay 50 points more for it. Then we have one card of the Challenger Mark II, which we all know and love, which you can bring at 2 vet and get 2 of them, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, basically a bunch of bad tanks, but some less bad than others, and like it's quite cost effective if you can use it. It's just really hard to use because of the speed, really hard to use. And like minimum range gun plus low speed is kind of tough. And yeah, so these are the 2 new ones basically, and then you've got the Ferret Swing Fire, the CV version. Like, it's got a nice ROF. Recon tab, so Terrier Scouts, which you'll know from 2nd UK, and they've got a new vehicle, the Rover Yeoman. That's how you say it. It's not Yeoman, it's a Yeoman. And this has smoke on it. So it's got 2 MMGs. It's really fast, because it's just a Rover with less tarp on it. and it's got smoke, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure. Oh, the smoke launchers are at the front. Yes, it's got smoke. So yeah, you can really get into some funny positions with this. And you get 7 of them, so you can send them around the sides and like try and get recon everywhere, basically. Then you've got normal scouts, which sadly do not come in the Rover Yeoman, but they do have AT. Then you've got the Scout AH1, which you'll recognise from 4th UK, except this one doesn't have an ATGM on it. I believe that's right. So yeah, here's the Scout AH1, but there is in 4th UK a Scout AH1 Hellarm, which is did I make that up? Might have made that up. You'll notice 4th UK got an extra unit, the Scimitar Spyglass, that was added this patch, and that gives exceptional optics to a Scimitar. So that's pretty cool, right? You got to pay 10 points more for it, but you got exceptional optics on your Scimitar. How cool is that? I could have sworn there was like a AH1 Hellarm. I just there it is. It was in MBAD. My bad. So yeah, it's the same thing, but without the ATGMs on it. And yeah, so we're getting there. Guard Sniper, so a new sniper unit, and this is sadly it's an assault rifle and a sniper instead of a DMR and a sniper. So it's less good than the other snipers, but they do get the stealth bonus even if they're not in ghillies, and they do get resolute. The really interesting part is it comes in this. So this is an A109, which is captured from the Falklands, and it's got some gun pods on it. The HMP 400, which will run out of ammo pretty much straight away, and 14 Hydra rockets, which will do the same. It's got the Special Forces trait, but I'm pretty sure one vet Special Forces helo doesn't exist. I might be wrong. I'm not sure what it does for you. Anyway. So yeah, you can bring this if you want the combo, right? Get the AH-109, right? Keep in mind these are these snipers are only recon deployed instead of airborne deployed. That's a shame, really, because in all other snipers in the game are airborne deployed, I think. But it's probably so that you can't helo rush. So yeah, we'll see if this is useful. I mean, I don't really rate it as a battlefield weapon, but the recon slots are quite cheap. Then you've got a Scorpion, which we all know and love, quote-unquote. Poor availability, rubbish gun, rubbish optics. Then we've got the Lynx Chancellor from 4th UK, rocking that exceptional optics with the eye. And then you've got the Fox, which you know all about, right? It's in a lot of divisions. Then you've got the Fox with the egg fryer on it. So it's a Fox with this Zibi radar, and that gives it exceptional optics for 10 points more, just like the Scorpion in 4th that's been added to 4th UK. So that's pretty cool, right? And you can get a lot of Foxes if you want, I suppose. AA, so the Blowpipe is back. Hooray! The Javelin is back. Hooray! Then you've got the Starstreak LML. So sadly, this isn't like like the Javelin. It's on an LML tripod. And that means it's like the Javelin LML. So it's got nice range and stuff, but it's not got. In real life, it can shoot at vehicles, but they didn't want to add that for whatever reason. We did ask. And also, it can't go in buildings because it's on this big tripod, unlike the Minstrel, which is on a tripod IRL, but in this game it goes in buildings. So I'm not really sure how useful this is going to be, sadly, because I mean it's not actually that slow, right? It's not that slow, but it's only got good stealth. This has exceptional stealth, and yeah, if a helo like gets in range of it, it's going to mess it up because it fires three at once. But actually, it kind of doesn't because it's manual guidance. So I'm not really sure of the utility of this. But the air tab slots are cheap. Then we've got the Rapier FSB1, which you'll know from 2nd UK. And then we've got the Bloodhound. So NATO finally has a above 10 HE, above 9 HE thing. So this div is going to be played in 10v10 so people can spam 6 Bloodhounds. So it is worse than the Krug because it's only got one missile, which is a big difference, right? Because it can only shoot one and then it's got to reload, whereas the Krug can shoot two for 60% accuracy, whereas this can only shoot one for 30, right? So, but it is cheaper, and you get 6 of them, and the air tab slots are quite cheap, and so you can afford to, do something like that in a 1v1 maybe, but you're paying a lot of money for these, and you got to move them around and stuff. This is a new transport truck, by the way. It's the supply one, except as a transport. So yeah, I think this will see usage in 10v10 for the Bloodhounds, basically. It's a good addition to team games, I think. But yeah, it's not self-propelled. Like, it's a lot worse than a Krug, basically. Heli tab, so that you just get a Helarm and a Gazelle rocket. So, okay, that's fair enough. And they're 1-point slots, which is nice. And then the air tab, so this is a 6 HP rocket plane, but the rockets are on one weapon, so they fire half as fast. It does also have guns on it, and it's only 5 availability. Then this is the first 6 HE fighter. It's absolutely dreadful in its intended role. Realistically, it should have 6 availability, because it's the only 6 HP fighter in the game. But the idea is you use it to pad out your bombers. So you just fly all of these out in front of your bombers because they're not cheap, they're not expensive. So, and if it gets shot, then your bomber knows what to shoot at. So here we've got a Camber bomber from Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, Camber bomber inbound, as they say, and that's an EW plane with 60% ECM. Then we've got a Camber bomber HE cluster, so it's got cluster and HE, and you see it's very slow. It's very slow. It's slightly faster than the Harrier, right? But because the bombs are split, it doesn't have like a 3-minute reload or whatever. So it doesn't have like a 6-minute reload. It's a 3-minute reload. And as you know from watching my video, the best part of the new Wano patch, which will be linked in the description if I remember, these guys drop their bombs faster now. High altitude bombers drop their bombs faster now. It's about like 33% faster than it used to be. It used to take 9 seconds, now it takes about 6, something like that. So 33% or 50% faster depending on how you take it. Anyway, so I'm very happy this is in the game. Obviously we can't talk about who's responsible for what and what have you. But essentially the Phantom actually has a gun pod on it now. So in real life, the UK went out and bought loads of gun pods because they're like, well, these Phantoms without guns are crap. But yeah, this one is, we finally got one with the gun pod, right? So it's like the American one, except worse, and you have to pay the same amount of money for it. Then we've got the Harrier GR5HE, which is 6 bombs and 40% ECM. I believe 8 HP stuff should have 3 per card, but the MiG-21 BIS cluster is not 3 per card. But yeah, essentially, it's got 40% ECM, same as like an F-18 Hornet, but it's super slow. So it's like big RNG tool, essentially. Will it get through to the AA without getting shot? it's got 40% ECM, but 2 Cubs are going to evac it before it hits anything. So I don't think it's too useful against people who have Cubs and Eyehawks. Against people who don't, maybe they're not paying attention, it could work. You can do something pretty funky where you open with like 5 of these to just saturate all the AA and then, just like YOLO people with it. It is two cards. Then you've got the cluster variant, which is the same but cluster. The bombs are smaller, but it's better against tanks. I believe this one-shot's a heavy tank anyway because it's 3,000 kilos of ordnance. More, in fact. And yeah, I think this would one-shot a heavy tank as well. It's just about getting there. There's a lot of RNG involved in these ECM values, sadly. Then you've got the Tornado F3, which we've seen before in 1st UK, and for some reason 2nd Panzergren. And yeah, this is obviously a lot better than this one, but it costs more. And that's it for HDR. So if you want to see some gameplay of HDR, do check out the links in the description. And now we'll go on to the 2nd Soviet Guards Division. So here it is. So these guys are in charge of defending Moscow. So here's the first thing. This is called a Potok. And I believe this is like a dummy gun. And it's actually just a CV, right? And this is just here to make it look like a regular BMP-1 so they don't get shot. Because you would target the command vehicle if you could. Then they've got a BMP-2K. Which you'll know from 27Y and 25Y. It's a command BMP-2. You've seen the Ural 10 Guerrillion times. I don't know if they've changed it up a bit. It might have had a new skin. I don't think it has. I just don't remember staring it back there before. Then we've got our new unit here, the MAZ 35A Snab. So this is sort of a semi-heavy supply thing. 6,000 in a card, but 1,500 in one thing. Then we've got the Grozovi, which you've seen a Guerrillion times before. Then the Belazor CV, which I believe has had a new skin. So I don't remember it looking like that. At least the card is different. And you'll know that from 56Y. It's just a car. It's like the Rover. Then you've got the Chaiko, which you'll remember from 56Y, right? So this has amphibious capability. It costs more. 3 per card, right? And then the FOB, which you'll know from all these divisions, right? You know what a FOB is. Infantry tab, so the Kommandatura, which you'll know from all these Soviet divisions. Yeah, Soviet divs, you know how it is. Really nice infantry tabs. We should probably go through the slots, right? So Arty, Tanks, Recon, AA, Helos, and Air. So it's sort of a good air, good good tanks division. I mean, this is basically just more meta slop, essentially. So you've got Guards NSV, so it's like the one in the HDR London one, but Soviet. Then you've got Guards 30mm grenade launcher. So that's obviously a lot better. For 5 points more, and it's got Resolute, so that's pretty nice. Then you've got some Aviator Guards commanders. I'm wearing aviators, did you know? So this is 4 guys with RPGs and smoke, but only 2 availability. And they can come in a BTR-80, BMP-1 or a BMP-2. Then you've got Gvardaitsi, so these guys have Resolute. And they're like Moto Strelki, except they've got the cool helmet from Rainbow Six Siege, and they've got Resolute. And they pay the same price, because Resolute is free, right? Sadly, the vehicles are not Guard vehicles. I think that would have been cool, right? Guard BMP-1, Guard BMP-2. Sadly not. So, but yeah, they're like regular Moto Strelki, but better, because they get Resolute and they look cooler. Then we've got Gvardaitsi regulars. So these are Moto Strelki BMP, but with the funny helmets, and Resolute. And they come in a BTR-80, so it's pretty similar. So it's basically just like better 27Y so far. Then we've got Gvardaitsi SVD, so these are... I don't think the Soviets have any SVD squads, actually. Sort of regulars as SVDs. So this is like Motschutz and SVD, essentially. It's actually very similar to that. So if you... Motschutz and SVD, and then Gvardaitsi SVD. You see the Gvardaitsi are 10 points cheaper. with a better machine gun and one fewer, sorry, with a better AT and one fewer machine gun. Somebody's messaging me. I hope it's not something important. So that's a really good deal, right? You get a better RPG and you lose one MG, which is important. The 7.62 MG is better, but I mean, check it out, right? The issue is the BTR 80 is 35 points, but I do think it's worth it actually. I like that unit a lot, the BTR 80. I've been playing a lot of 27th recently. So yeah, you'd want these guys. Then you get Gvardice Metis. So these are 8 guys in a BTR 80, and they're like a regular Metis squad, except with Resolute, for free. Then we've got Saperi Commanders, which you'll know from many, many, many divisions. It's not a good CV because it's only 4 guys. And it's got AT, which is nice, but no smoke or anything. So, like, why wouldn't you bring this one? It's also 4 guys. It gets the same transport options, and it gets smoke. The RPG is worse, though. Then we've got Sappers, which you'll know. Sadly, no Gvardice Sapper, but here it is. And they all come in BTR 80s and stuff, which is pretty interesting, actually. And Saperi RPO, sadly not Gvardice. RPO guys, you know them well. They come in a BTR 80. Then you've got Gvardice Pulmachiki. So they're like regular Pulmachiki, except veterancy for free, right? Then you've got Gvardice SPG-9. So I don't think the Soviets have many SPG-9 squads. Actually, that's not true. They've got a few. And these guys, you know, they actually might be worth it because, you know, they get the Resolute tag. But it's sadly, you know, like it's better than a Wombat. But I do think it costs more, I think. I think it's like 10 points more. And also, it is better. But yeah, it's still got 2 HP. Then you've got Gvardice Unspeakable 1. Which is the same as a regular Unspeakable 1, except they've got Resolute for free. And then Gvardice Conquers, and they get Resolute for free, and they all come in BTR 80s, right? Then we've got 120mm mortar. And D30, yeah, MTLB. It's not guard though. 122mm mortars and MTLB. It's not guard. Regular Acacias and regular Grad. I mean, all right, they could have put a bit more effort in here, but you can definitely get. I mean, look at the slots. The slots are so cheap. You can get, you know, you can do some pretty zany stuff here. Although that's a 3-point. I don't know if that's worth it. Tanks. So this is the part you're interested in, right? BRDM2 Conquers, wow, this is why you're here. Then the Repairer, right, it's in loads of divisions, T-72 Command, so I believe like 7th Panzer gets this, but this is the Soviet one, so it's got a new skin and what have you. 150 points for a T-72, it's not so bad, it's not got smoke, because it's the regular T-72. T-64 AK, which you'll know from 17Y, so this is actually really nice. For 30 points more, you get 1 more pen, 1 more armor and smoke, but you're worse against infantry, but you also fire 2 more rounds a minute. Then you've got the T-71B OBR 84, so for 200 points, this is just an absurd tank. It's got 18 armor, which is the same as the Challenger, and it's got smoke. And also it gets like a super funky, same as the Challenger Mark II, vet curve. It is a bit cheaper as well, even though it's better. Makes you think, doesn't it? So it is what it is, what can I say? And it's better against vehicles because it's got an NSVT. T-72 is still pretty ridiculous. T-64B, also a nice tank. It's in 25th Soviet and 6Y, you'll know it from. This has the max range gun, and you can get to it, you know, max vet. So yeah, pretty nice, pretty nice. Then this is the one you're looking for, right? The T-80U OBR 89, the March to War vehicle with the March to War Invar missile. 345 points. ERA. 21 front armor. It means a lot of tanks just can't actually shoot this because it'll say I can't hurt it and it just won't fire. So yeah, pretty good tank. It's fast. It's got a 2,800 meter range, 25 AP ATGM. People playing as NATO on rocks are really going to hate playing against this division. But there it is. Really good tank. Like this div is like pure meta, right? Because you get cheaper tanks for the early game, and then better tanks for the late game. Your infantry costs the same as everybody else's, but it gets resolute. Pure meta slop div. But you only get two of them at one vet, so that so you do have to be careful with that, right? But yeah, you get T-72s, which are very, very, very meta, and you get loads of those. So, and then yeah, you get these guys as well. This can survive a 30 AP missile from a plane. Very, very meta div. Then you get this useless unit. So it's got very good optics and SIGINT, but it has bad stealth, so why would you bring it? You're going to get it up to where you can see somebody, they're going to see you, and then you're going to explode because you've got less than one armor. It is only 25 points, though, and the recon slots are cheap, so maybe that's something for it. You get Razvedka, but they don't get the KPVT truck. You get Razvedka Saperi in the BTR-60, like, 79Y, I guess, or 39Y, I remember it from, in the BTR-80. Or 27Y, I can't remember. Motorized Razvedka in the Razvedka 1P, or this is all very normal. There's literally one new unit in this whole tab, and it's this thing. BRDM2s, very good optics. BRM1Ks, exceptional optics and armor. Spets Razvedka from 27Y, but you get a better transport because you get a Razvedka BTR-80, which has mediocre stealth for 5 more points. Because they painted it brown, that gives it mediocre stealth, like me, right? I got mediocre stealth. And then this thing, which you'll know from all the Soviet divisions. Really nice piece of kit, but, usually you're paying like 3 AP slots, but these have really cheap AP slots here. AA, so you don't get any Cubs, which is quite surprising, but you do get towed AA guns, so you can blat people. They did get nerfed this patch, by the way. They're not as good. They're still pretty good. And then Guard Iglas, which are like regular Iglas, but free Resolute. Bryusa, which you'll know from 39Y and so on. So it's an upgraded Shilker, but it's radar. Strela 10M, which you'll know from all over the place. And then the Osa, which got buffed recently. Not this patch, but a few patches ago. It's pretty nice, actually. Helis, so you can bring 2 of these if you want, if you're a Muppet. Obviously, if you've got a brain, you're just going to bring the same thing at 6 availability and 1 AP here, instead of, 1 availability, 2 availability and 1 AP here. You might be like, oh, it's got a rank of veterancy. Okay. You do you, man. Anyway, this thing you've seen before, right? It's got 4 Kokons and 80 rockets. And then the air tab, so you get the L370 thingamabob, right? So this is like a nice rocket plane for the start of the game. Then you get the MiG-21 BIS HE at 3 per card. MiG-21 BIS cluster at 2 per card, right? Because it's the same loadout that the 6YA guys get with the, mega cluster, and it's very, very fast. So it's like the Harrier, except it trades ECM for speed. Then you get this thing from 157Y, so it's got a lot of rockets on it. This, which is sort of new but sort of not, because there's something very, very similar already available. It's just the R13 is sort of, you don't see that very often. SU-25AT, which you know very well, and then the MiG-29 913 with 40% ECM. 255 points, so this is a very, very nice plane. A very nice plane. Best long-range missiles in the game, excluding the MiG-31s. And best short-range missiles in the game. So, yeah, now, obviously now I'm going to build the decks, right? So, yeah, if you want to see gameplay, timestamps in the description, but I'm just going to very quickly just build these decks, and then I'll go into a game, and the games will be linked in the description. I'll also be live streaming. So, yeah, I want the big supply, right? I want some small supply. Sadly, I have to bring 2 cards of the big supply, which isn't great, but if you want 3 cards of supply, which I think I do because of the Krugs, then I've got the bug with the available units thing, but we'll get through it. I would like the regular rover, although this one has smoke. Yeah, I'm going to get this. I think it's better. Then, I think I fixed it. Then I would like Resolute for 5 points more, right? I think that's worth it. And also 5% more accuracy because I'm not reservist. Then the RMP I think I need. I think these should be 20 points really, but it is what it is because I need the Rover RMP for the Centurions. So I don't really have a choice. HSF, no. L6 Wombat, no. Milan 1, yes. Milan 2, yes. So get that all sorted. And then I want Rifles Patrol in the Kremlin Pig. And I want as many of these as my heart desires. And then obviously we want the SAS, right? Obviously we want the Air Mobile Terriers, right? And yeah, Guards Carl Gustav for the... Because, like, you know, if I want to shoot a vehicle. So there you go. I think that's all good. Right, got lots of infantry, lots of DMR guys, pretty good on the... I've got a friend who looks like this. Arty, we want the AS-90. And I'll try this for smoke. Honestly, I think this is probably better because it's 20 points cheaper. But this does have more range and the smoke will land faster. It's just like, because you got to mess with the corrected shot thing. You got to turn the corrected shot off. It's kind of annoying. Tanks, so we want the Challengers. We want the Ferret Swing Fire. We want the Centurions. I've just noticed that I don't have enough CVs. 3, 4, 5 if I bring the... I mean, it's an 85-point tank, 2 armor CV, which is not bad, actually. So let's bring that. And then... I'm going to need a CV here, so I could get... I want the better transport, frankly. Right? Even though it's not... Resolute's not... Obviously, the meme. You guys, honestly. Anyway... So yeah, Centurion. Sadly, the tank tab is quite expensive, right? So we'll get some, you know, some new chieftains, right? These, I just don't see the point in this. I don't see why I would bring this when I can get the same round, but it fires faster on a cheaper tank. This is better against infantry, but this fires faster, and the accuracy's, you know, the same essentially. Although this can survive a tow too. I've already got this one. Recon, so we'll get the Mega Fox, we'll get the Mega Recon Helo on Exceptional Optics for 15 points more, I think is very worth it. It is one less availability though. Get the Rover Yeo Man, and we'll get this thing just for the meme, even though it's not that good, I think. AA, so we'll get 2 cards of Bloodhounds, and then we'll get the Starstreak and the Javelin maybe. Yeah, we could upvet these. I'm running out of slots. Get the Hellarm and the Rocket, and then air slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can only bring... I can't bring enough really. So I would bring the Camber Bomber and the Hawk Tour or Hawk Tawana. And yeah, sadly we can't fit it all in, right? Which one do I want? I want the HE one because they both kill tanks, so why wouldn't I get the one that can also kill infantry? So yeah, I mean, I would like more here, but I'd have to get rid of some tanks, right? And that's a 3-point slot. Oh, that's a 2-point slot, and then I could get. Well, no, I kind of need these. We'll try that because they're both manpads, right? Although, meh. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, we could get rid of an infantry card that'd give us 3 AP, and then we could, yeah, so we could get rid of an infantry card, and then I know a guy who looks like this as well. Anyway, then we could put this in, right? Then we could get rid of this. That gives us 4 AP now. And then I could get you know, the I mean, I feel like 2 cards of fighters would be nice, frankly. Or we could get the Harrier Cluster, whatever. And then I've got 2 AP left, so I'm not sure what that was for, really. I don't really need any more AA. So we'll swap this out and put this guy back in. And now I've got 1 AP, which I can't really spend anywhere. Okay. If I get rid of... No, it's a 2-point slot. This is a 2-point slot, and this is what, a 3... Okay, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to get... to do that, and then just get more javelins, right? Just like mega javelins. Like, even the arty's a 3-pointer. It's not great at all, actually. It's really not great. So... It is what it is. Yeah. So in a real game, I'd probably just sod this off, bring these two, and then I'd have 2 more AP, and then I could reverse all that, and then bring the extra infantry, or bring another card of tanks. But I do want to show off as many of the new units as I can, so that's HDR 1v1. Now, building the 2nd Guards Division. So this thing is 40 points for, you know, CV, which is really good. And then we'll bring some supply. The arty has a grad, and I kind of want to bring a grad. So we'll bring a 3rd card of supply. Infantry, so we obviously want the grenade launcher. We want the Saperi RPO. We want the regular Saperi, perhaps. I like BTR 80s, but they do make these things a lot more expensive. So maybe these guys should just come in gases. I do want the Metis guys. I do want some BMP2s. I do want SVDs. I don't see the point in the regular guys. And then the Conkers, we'll get the Conkers. I think that's enough, really. There's plenty of infantry there, right? 2 cards of you know, satchels and stuff. Because the Soviets aren't very good at close quarters because their squads aren't that big, apart from, like, you know, 56Y and so on. There's always an exception. So here I'd like to do that. I don't know if that's so meta, but I like having grads. Because, yeah, you could save 2 AP by not bringing this, basically, and then you wouldn't have to bring a 3rd card of supply. But I do like my grads. Then you do need both of these, and I do think you need them at 1 vet, because otherwise, you know... and then you just want 10 Guerrillion T-7. Yeah, okay, yeah. As you can see, this div's a lot better. You don't really have to think as much. We'll get the Spetsrazvedka and the Razvedka PTR. And then we'll get... we've got enough satchel guys, although, you know, this is 4 for 55 points, so 1 AP, whereas this is 2 AP, and... Well, you do have to pay a lot more points, right? 15 more points, so maybe it's not worth it. Get a regular Razvedka, I guess. I would like 6 helos, so we'll get that. And then, actually, you get an SU-25, which is interesting. But I need this for my tanks. I've got this for the sneak around the side, so I don't really need the other one. This is too many. Oh yes, because I wanted the helos, wasn't it? AA, so we'll get. We obviously want these. They have been nerfed, but they're still really good. So I'm still gonna bring it. Guard Igglers, and then the Osas, right? So, could I don't need more than 4 of those, really. Helos, so get this, and this. Air tab, so we obviously want the Mega MiG, and we'll take, because we don't have long range AA, so we'll get this. And then, yeah. And look, we've still got 1 AP spare, and I have to make absolutely no difficult decisions. I've brought a meme grad, which I don't have to bring. We've only got 2 CVs. Ooh. So, yeah, let's get this, because it's nice and cheap, and it's got 3 top armor. And it's not made for shooting at people, so that's all good. You know, we're not going to be shooting at people. This is a 2-point slot. This is a 3-point slot, so if I got rid of this, I could bring the other one, but frankly, I need the other one as well. So, we could get rid of the meme helos, we don't really need them. Yeah, so instead of regular cheapo Razvedka for, like, I need cheap infantry, whatever, it's like, this is so expensive. You don't have airborne forward deploy, but neither do the other guys. You'll notice that's quite rare now these days. None of these new divisions just like, oh, we must all have airborne forward deployment. Thankfully, that reign of terror has ended. Where can I get this extra AP in? I don't really need it anywhere, to be honest, do I? But yeah, if I got rid of this and I like get rid of the meme grad, I'd have 3 AP and I could bring even more tanks and stuff. I think we're going to be absolutely fine like this. So that's 2YA 1v1. Anyways, like I said, if you want to see the gameplay, check the description. I should also be live streaming when this comes out, and that'll also be linked in the description. And I hope you have a lovely day.